You ever spend too much time in the damn house, like alone with your thoughts, and you start driving yourself crazy? Yeah, that's where I'm at today. Also though, this is the story of how there are far too many people in this world that view your wins as a threat to their success. Cue the vlog.
But like, Dramos made it.
My name is Dramos, and I'm probably best known as the dude that sits next to DJ Envy on The Breakfast Club. And while that's been a dream come true, if we're being real, I'm also so much more than just that. I'm a DJ, a music producer, a TV personality, a radio and podcast host, but more importantly, I'm just a man taking life day by day, trying to make the best of it, while hopefully making this world a better place. And who knows, maybe my story will inspire some of y'all to do the same.
Trying to hit it like a free throw, got him saying. Bobby just can't do it, that perico. I'm about to hit him off with them Cinos, got him saying. Hey yo, Dramos, this shit finna blow up right here. Yo, yeah, boy, dime grande.
Alright, so I've pretty much been locked in the house the last 3 days. I had to leave to go on the radio for a little bit over the weekend, but other than that, man, I've just been locked in the crib. My girl came over for a little bit, but mostly just working on getting the house together. And in doing so, you end up like finding old artifacts from your past. And I recently found an old hard drive that I had of like a bunch of old like videos from old trips that I had taken with a bunch of my friends. Some friends still in the picture. Some of these friends no longer are people that I consider to be friends. But it got me thinking about probably one of the biggest difficulties I've had on this path to getting the life that I want, and a life that I find to be satisfying and fulfilling, and also one that hopefully helps others. And along that path, I've realized and I've noticed this pattern, right? That every time I level up in my life, career-wise, financially, it seems like the people that I thought would be coming with me for that next step are no longer a part of my life. And it made me realize how so many people in our lives, friends, family, they can't handle when there is like this shift in the power dynamic of a relationship, right? When I'm no longer the tag along friend, you know what I mean? When I no longer need you to fill me in on what's going on, or maybe you're no longer the center of attention in that friend group, you know, and maybe I've become that, or vice versa. There are so many people that can't handle that change and will literally turn their back on you. Or you got other people who view your successes. They live in this scarcity mindset where they don't think there's enough success out there, enough opportunity out there in this world, that when you reach a level of success, when you find some success, when you start obtaining things, and when you start growing in your career and in your life, they view that as that means there's less out there for them. Therefore, they start hating on you. They start turning their back on you. I don't know. I'm going through a whole stew of emotions right here. I'm going to take a nature walk to kind of clear my head. I'll be real with you. I had zero desire to film a vlog today, but I made a promise to myself, and I believe I said in the last vlog I was doing 2 vlogs a week. So I want to keep that promise. I was reading somewhere, I think it was a YouTube video, and talking about productivity and production and just putting your content out there and creating things. And I believe they're talking about the example of a writer, right? But writers don't always want to write. What makes you a writer is that on the days you do not feel like writing, you push yourself to write anyway. Now that I'm out here, I'm happy that I'm doing something productive. I forced myself past that mental wall, that mental block. And that's another video for another time, but just want to be completely honest. Now, we've all heard the saying, it's lonely at the top, right? And I never liked that saying. As somebody who's hopefully striving to reach the top of my particular industries, my field, whatever it is that I choose to do, I'm always aiming to hopefully be the best, right? That's what we all should be striving for, at least. I never liked that. That seemed like a very ominous and lonely way to go about life, just because I'm chasing after being great, right? Why should that have to be a lonely path? So I've always adapted the idea, and this is my slogan. You've probably caught it on the shirt in my first episode, but it doesn't have to be lonely at the top. And that's how I choose to live my life. It's a damn duck out here. Alright, so let me paint the picture of what I'm talking about when I talk about the sort of dynamics of a relationship changing, right? Like the power dynamics of a relationship changing. I guess the first time of me really noticing it, right? So, I think for me, it's gotta be growing up, right? It brings you back to like a young Dramos, right? Even as a kid, like a little kid. My friends in school, I started school early, so I was a year younger than everybody. So I was the last for like my voice to drop, to hit puberty, to get my license, all of the above, right? Like a year behind everybody else that I was friends with. And that definitely created a bit of a dynamic, I guess, in our friend group that I was kind of just like that runt of the group and almost like that tag along afterthought to a degree, right? Like the younger brother would be almost. In high school, I was cool with everybody, but I definitely wasn't like this popular dude. Like I wasn't the first phone call you made when you were throwing a party in high school, you know? I was at the party because, you know, a lot of my boys at the time were the jocks, right? They were popular, they knew about the parties. So what I noticed was that as we began to get older and I started going down this path of developing a career in the entertainment industry, and as things would happen for me, right? And as I would get some sort of notoriety and graduating high school from a small town, you know, not much happened. So any little thing I was doing, from going on tour when I was in a band, to getting into radio, to DJing, all these different things, man, like it was a big deal for people in the area who were paying attention. And when I would go out, like a local bar with some of my friends and things like that, we run into people from high school, you know, they'd be excited to ask me about my life, and certain friends would be super excited to hear all the crazy stories of things that I was getting into, right? And I noticed that for some of my friends in particular, this was a hard pill for them to swallow. They were so used to the younger version of me, right? The version of me that kind of idolized them as like my older friends, my older cool friends, and they couldn't handle the fact that the attention was being placed on me, and I started noticing how different they were acting with me. And this is a pattern I've noticed throughout my kind of transcendence in my career and life and growth and things like that. Even when I was coming up in like DJing and in radio, like I came up with like a group of DJs, and I was the only one to kind of break through from just DJing local bars. And the result of that was me gaining a whole new kind of group of haters, you know? These are people that were genuinely like people I consider to be family, that I traveled with, you know what I mean? That shared money with and broke bread with, and we knew each other's families and things like that, you know? And it's just kind of like history repeating itself. I can remember a DJ friend of mine that came up, same struggle as me, man. We met the same people around the same time. And when I went out to Vegas and played a festival, and I put a picture on my Instagram, he had the nerve to come up to me when we saw each other randomly and say to me, "Hey bro, I'm really happy for you. I saw that picture on Instagram, but I gotta ask, man, the crowd, it didn't look like they were looking at you. Was that fake? Was that just for show?" And I was like, bruh, I'm playing in front of a sea of people. You saw me come up side by side with you DJing at dive bars for a college party that sold quarter beers. Like, you should be, of all people, happy for the fact that I'm playing in front of a sea of thousands of people. Like I got to see my dream happen. And in that moment, that's what your thought was. That was what your first initial reaction was when you saw that picture. And I think that that's just like the perfect story, the perfect analogy for so many different things that we all see in the course of our life, and we have to just keep in mind, man. And not everybody's capable of being happy for you in a genuine way. And now listen, even as I say all that, right, I list all these negative things that have happened to me, I personally refuse to allow these negative experiences to dictate how I lead my life. So regardless of how many terrible people I run into, how many friends that I thought were going to be lifelong friends that just kind of fell by the wayside, never to be heard from again, no matter how many of those experiences I've had, I will always subscribe to the notion that it doesn't have to be lonely at the top, because I've also met so many incredible people who have proven that right to me. The type of people who, rather than trying to keep opportunities from you, when they hear something that sounds like it might be a good fit for you, they jump to throw your name out there for a possible candidate for it. That's how I am, and that's exactly the type of people I want to be around. So I challenge anybody watching this, I'm sure you've had your fair share of shitty experiences out there with people in your life. I challenge you to, as corny as it sounds, be the change that you want to see. Set the example. And I sound like a broken record when I talk about this scarcity mindset, but understand that when you think that somebody else's success takes away from your ability to have success, that is a scarcity mindset. Once again, a scarcity mindset. And that also bleeds into the rest of your life. Even without seeing somebody else's success, if you're operating from a scarcity mindset, you're thinking there's less and less opportunity out there, so why even try? And you see how that trickles down to you not achieving the things that you want to do because you're operating from this mindset that there isn't enough to go around for everybody. And listen, I'm not perfect. I've had plenty of times where I've been scrolling on Instagram and all of a sudden I see somebody, you know, celebrating something or making an announcement, and I get that feeling of hate in my heart, in my stomach, in my head. I start thinking of hating thoughts. But
in those moments, I catch myself and I remind myself that this person's success, this person's win, this person's victory has nothing to do with me. It doesn't mean there's less opportunity out there for me. It doesn't mean that I can't achieve the things I want to achieve. It just means this person got a win. That's it. I should be happy for that person, because the reality is, if I flip the way my mind thinks, if I can see this person that I know winning, then that should mean, why the hell can't I win? I've seen somebody else win, so why wouldn't I be able to win? Why isn't there an opportunity for me to win? And even for some of you, if I have to break this down into a way that it proves to be something that helps you become successful, just remember, that person that you are watching obtain success, you're watching them get a win, get a victory, that person could very well now extend a hand and help you if you prove to them to be a good friend, if you prove to be somebody who's in their corner. So it's a win-win for everybody. Their victory means that there's an opportunity that any of us could win, and at the same time, now you have somebody in a winning position that can possibly help you get closer to the goal that you're chasing after. So why the hell would you spend time and waste time hating on that person when that person could also be helping you out? Hey, just something to consider. It's been something that's been on my mind as of late, and something I feel like is a continuous cycle that I've been experiencing in my life. So I thought I would share it, and hopefully it lets people know that they're not alone in this. We all have the opportunity to win, and there's plenty of opportunity for all of us to win as long as we're open to it and we keep on working towards it. Thank you all so much for tuning into another vlog. I appreciate all the love and support. Like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. It really does help with the algorithm. I know I've been beating that to death. Every YouTuber says it, but for real, it's true. It helps with the algorithm, people discovering it, and it allows me to keep growing this platform. I have a lot of plans for this platform. I want to do a lot of good. I want to help a lot of other people, a lot of artists who are coming up, a lot of content creators. I want to collaborate with you guys on my channel and do different things to help put eyes on you. But first, I got to build up this platform. So all the likes, the comments, the subscribing, and sharing it with somebody and asking them to subscribe, all that stuff helps me continue to build this platform so that I can then give it back and share it with other people who need exposure as well. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. I will catch you later this week with another vlog.